Will the real Satoshi Nakamoto please stand up? Satoshi Nakamoto. I never heard of Bitcoin before Newsweek contacted my son 3 weeks ago. Earlier in the day, I read that Newsweek actually contacted Satoshi Nakamoto. But regardless of what we've been hearing or reading, let's look at this Business Insider article. In another bizarre twist to today's bombshell news story on Bitcoin, California man Satoshi Nakamoto is now denying he created Bitcoin. In an exclusive 2-hour interview with the Associated Press, Dorian S. Nakamoto, 64, said he never heard of Bitcoin until his son had told him he had been contacted by a reporter 3 weeks ago. This contradicts the Newsweek feature, which was written by reporter Leah McGrath Goodman. Goodman wrote that she had contacted the man behind Bitcoin, controversial digital cryptocurrency spreading across the world. Her investigation led her to a Japanese-American father of 6 who lives in a single-family home in California. I don't have any doubt in my mind, said Goodman, when our Rob Will asked her if she really believed Nakamoto was indeed the founder of Bitcoin. Immediately, reporters from numerous media outlets tracked down Nakamoto and camped outside his Temple City home. Eventually, he emerged and agreed to have lunch with an AP reporter, who we now believe was AP's Ryan Nagashima. That led to a chase, which was live tweeted by the reporters. The most surprising tweet probably came from the LA Times deputy business editor Joe Belbruno. Okay, so Nakamoto denies being the creator of Bitcoin. Yes, he denied. And it goes on and on and on. After completing what she said was a 2-month investigation, interviews with those closest to Nakamoto and the developers who worked most frequently with him, Goodman said the facts are much stranger than the well-established fiction. Indeed, the name Satoshi Nakamoto first appeared on a 2008 paper proposing the digital currency. Unable to locate that Nakamoto, many of the Bitcoin watchers proceeded to assume that Satoshi Nakamoto was actually a pseudonym. Goodman actually made a jab at these folks in her story. And then it goes on. Reporters, those including at the Business Insider, were taken aback by how quickly and easily Goodman was able to track down Nakamoto from her story. There are several Satoshi Nakamotos living in North America and beyond, both dead and alive, including a Ralph Lauren menswear designer in New York and another who died in Honolulu in 2008, according to Social Security's Index Death Master file. There's even one on LinkedIn who claims to have started Bitcoins and is based in Japan, but none of these profiles seem to fit other known details, and a few of the other leads prove credible. Of course, there's also the chance Satoshi Nakamoto is a pseudonym, but that raises the question why someone who wishes to remain anonymous. I'm tired, guys. Sorry. Would choose such a distinctive name. It was only while scouring a database that contained the registration cards of naturalized U.S. citizens that a Satoshi Nakamoto turned up whose profile and background offered a potential match. But it was not until after ordering his records from the National Archives and conducting many more interviews that a cohesive picture began to take shape. For the past 40 years, Satoshi Nakamoto has not used his birth name in his daily life, said Goodman. At the age of 23, after graduating from California State Polytechnic University, he changed his name to Dorian Prentice Satoshi Nakamoto, according to records filed with the U.S. District Court of Los Angeles in 1973. Without making any conclusions about whether Nakamoto was indeed the Satoshi Nakamoto behind Bitcoin, there were a lot of details that readers struggled with. For someone theoretically worth around $400 million, Dorian Nakamoto lived a remarkably modest lifestyle. He drives a silver Toyota Corolla CE and lives in a single-family home in a less than glamorous part of Southern California. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just a bit unusual. If anything, he wasn't the type of person interested in attracting a whole lot of attention. Even in her story, Goodwin noted that the first thing he did was call the cops when she appeared at his home. From her story, it seemed similarly implausible that Nakamoto's first response to my knocking at his door would be to call the cops. Now, face to face with two police officers as witnesses, Nakamoto's responses to my questions about Bitcoin were careful but revealing. One Goodwin source's Bitcoin scientist Gavin Anderson immediately regretted helping her with the story. I'm disappointed Newsweek decided to dox the Nakamoto family and regret talking to Leah. The Bitcoin as a community, the Bitcoin community as a whole was outraged by the revelation. For one, they agreed that Nakamoto didn't need to have his whole world disrupted. Two, pro-Bitcoiners didn't like how this diverted attention away from the Bitcoin itself. Three, I kind of liked it better when we didn't know. With the Goodwin Nakamoto story now unraveling, Simpson's desire for anonymous community ownership may be satisfied once again. Talk about another bizarre story. And regardless of this guy, whether he created Bitcoin or not, and I don't know, man. Not so anonymous after all, right, guys? Leave your thoughts. Such a long freaking article. Comment below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.